well, this was her town, and she loved it and wanted to promote it.
Madeleine Kiker was born in Anniston, Alabama on March 30th, 1903. After graduating high school, she married John D. Anthony of Wintersville, Georgia. In 1933, the family moved to Dahlonega. Madeleine fell in love with her new hometown and quickly devoted herself to the improvement and promotion of Dahlonega.
Dahlonaga's history fascinated her in the area. And she was a wonderful PR person who wanted everything to come to Dahlonega to see and everyone to see the beauty of it.
She got into the various organizations in town. One was called a community council, I believe, and she was president of the community council. In that position as president of that council, she appointed a committee to get the Chamber of Commerce started. And once it started, she was the acting secretary for probably 15, 16 years of the chamber, and in that job she really promoted Dahlonega.
In the late 50s, the state of Georgia formed a tourism board, and Madeleine saw an opportunity to promote her town. Dahlonega had been the site of America's first major gold rush, and Madeleine used the town's history to sell it as a tourist destination.
She preached gold. She panned for gold. Every tourist that came to Dahlonega, she wanted them to pan for gold, so they'd get that in their blood.
She went with the Georgia State Tourism Group to New York with Bill Hardeman, where they set up at the Coliseum a gold panning operation and taught New Yorkers how to gold pan for a full week. And they took a lot of gold dirt from here and had a real lot of fun with that.
We had a little bit of gold dirt left over, so I guess we had enough dirt to fill up about 45 of them brown paper bags. So she gave it to them for their flower boxes. So they had still promote Dahlonega. They had the gold panning dirt that they planted their flowers in New York.
Madeleine also worked to preserve historical sites in Dahlonega to ensure that they would survive for future generations of tourists and residents. One of her greatest accomplishments is the conversion of the old Dahlonega courthouse into the Gold Museum.
She passed here one day when they were preparing to, I suppose, to raise this building. They had moved all the boxes out of the attic to the yard, outdoors, sitting out there. And she stopped and asked what they were, and they were old court records. Well, that's the last time Mother's house was cleaned up, because those boxes were taken, and she spent her life. From then on, going through these papers, these court records of gold history, and she became a source to people who wanted to check their family history here.
Madeleine used her knowledge of the town's history to create the exhibits at the Gold Museum, donating many historical items from her own personal collection.
One of the first gold nuggets that was put on display here belonged to Madeleine. There were 5 coins in the safe, and Madeleine had made those available to the state. And they could have been, left for her children, but this museum was what was important for Madeleine.
Always seeking new ways to promote Dahlonega, Madeleine co-chaired the 1958 Gold Dome Project, collecting 43 ounces of gold from Dahlonega citizens for the cause. In an effort to raise more attention for the project, Madeleine organized a wagon train to carry the gold from Dahlonega to Atlanta.
There were quite a number of wagons. They camped out 3 nights, the last night in Piedmont Park, and then delivered the gold to the governor.
The project was so successful that in 1979, when the dome needed to be re-gilded, Madeleine organized a second wagon train to deliver the gold. Madeleine was also instrumental in organizing Gold Rush Days, a weekend festival that brings tens of thousands of tourists to Dahlonega every year.
I remember when she was so sick and I went to visit, I said, Madeleine, You've got to get up. This weekend is Gold Rush. And she said, well, I'll be there. But she never made it.
Madeleine passed away in 1989, leaving behind a legacy of historic preservation and the promotion of tourism.
Well, Madeleine was unusual. She sold a lot of the tourism from the time she got up in the morning to the time she went to bed. She greeted tourists on the square. And there's not many people like Madeleine that gave their life for the promotion of tourism like she did.